Every day, the world's largest early childhood care network wakes up. Across India, the Anganwadi system reaches 8 crore children daily. Within that massive population, data from the census shows that 7% of children under the age of 6 have some form of disability. Research indicates that 1/3 of these developmental delays can be prevented or significantly mitigated if they are identified and supported early enough. The challenge is that many of these delays aren't physically obvious. Conditions like intellectual or learning disabilities are largely invisible to the naked eye, making them easy to miss during the foundational early years. To catch these signs, the Ministry of Women and Child Development introduced a specific framework for Divyang, or differently abled children. It operates on 3 direct steps: screen, include, and refer. This protocol transforms the role of the Anganwadi worker. They become the nation's primary defense against permanent developmental loss. The first step, screening, requires workers to conduct quarterly assessments. They are trained to look for 2 contrasting indicators: green flags and red flags. Green flags are the typical developmental milestones. For example, a 6-month-old babbling and grasping at objects, or a 5-year-old successfully counting to 10. Workers contrast these achievements against visible red flags. These are physical symptoms, like an infant showing abnormal muscle tone, which can indicate cerebral palsy, or a child frequently squinting and failing to track moving objects. They also monitor for invisible red flags, covering behavioral and intellectual development. This includes a consistent lack of eye contact, an early sign of autism spectrum disorder, or an intense inability to sit still, which can point to ADHD. They even screen for specific learning disabilities like dysgraphia, where a child might struggle to form words or repeatedly mirror letters when writing. By teaching workers to spot the subtle difference between a natural childhood quirk and a true red flag, the system allows for intervention months or even years before a delay becomes permanent. If a worker spots a red flag, they move to the second step, include. The directive here is to adapt the Anganwadi Center to the child's needs immediately, before any formal medical diagnosis is finalized. They achieve this using a specific pedagogical framework known as the VAKT approach. This approach breaks learning into 4 sensory domains: visual, auditory, kinesthetic, learning through movement, and tactile. If a child struggles to process one sense, the worker engages another. They might use action rhymes, requiring children to speak and perform body movements together. Workers also use specific tactile and visual inclusion tactics. They supply thicker crayons for children with motor difficulties, or use real physical objects, like a mango, to teach shape, weight, and smell, rather than relying on abstract pictures. Throughout this process, there is a strict social rule. Divyang children are never separated from their peers during playtime or group activities. Educational inclusion isn't about lowering the standard for a child. It is about multiplying the sensory pathways that child can use to understand the world around them. If a child remains consistently behind on their milestones despite these inclusive efforts, the Anganwadi worker triggers the 3rd step, refer. This initiates the escalation pipeline. The Anganwadi worker collaborates with local health workers, like the ASHA or ANM, to guide families forward. From there, the family is directed to the local primary health center, where doctors can conduct a formal medical evaluation and provide an official diagnosis. The ultimate administrative goal is assisting the family in applying for a Unique Disability ID, UDID. Once verified by the medical board, this card provides legal eligibility for specialized care and government benefits. This referral pipeline takes a family that might otherwise be isolated and connects them directly into a structured, government-backed support network. Holding this entire protocol together is a technological backbone known as the Potion Tracker. The tracker maintains a continuous, digitized record of each child's assessments and progress. It ensures that once a Divyang child is identified, they don't fall through the administrative cracks. For parents, this system provides a vital emotional shift. Families move from confusion over their child's delays to feeling empowered by concrete knowledge and institutional support. By mastering the screen, include, and refer protocol, Anganwadi workers become champions of inclusion. They serve as the safeguard that ensures every child has the opportunity to live a joyful and fulfilling life.